Okay, I'm trying to see if it's working. Hello, hello. Checking the sound, just a moment. Okay, seems to be working. So, well, I haven't been releasing many videos lately, and the point is I'm not sure what exactly you want to see, what topics you want to have covered. So I've figured out that it would be kind of cool to create an application where anybody can submit video ideas and vote for ideas, and I will know what topics you want to have covered. So say I got a YouTube channel, and you'll be able to vote and to submit any video ideas. And that's the kind of application I want to build today. So here I've created a small diagram of what it can look. It's very simplistic for the beginning, but we can make it cooler later on. So we are going to have users. Users are going to be able to create inboxes, and the inbox can have many messages. A user can create messages, and the users will be able to vote on the messages inside each inbox. So we are going to build this new application, and we are going to use Ruby 3 and Rails 7 Alpha. So we're going to try to use the newest stack and see if we have any problems with it. So without any further ado, I think I'll try to create a new Rails application. I'll say Rails new. I'm going to name it Ask Demos. So Ask Demos. Demos is like people in Greek, I guess. So ask people. So Rails new Ask Demos, database equals PostgreSQL, and creating the application. Okay, so as you see, we are using Rails 7, fetching input maps, stimulus, then installing Turbo by default, and that's it. And you see we've also created a few controllers inside our JavaScript folder by default, so we already have stimulus installed. Let's actually have a quick look. I'll go to app, JavaScripts, controllers. Here we have application.js. I've got hello controller, so it's a basic stimulus controller. I've got index.js. Okay, looks good. Anyway, I will navigate to the application, and first of all, I'll start by creating a GitHub or just a Git repo. I'll name it Ask Demos. Okay, let it be public. Create repo. Then I already have SSH connected, so I'm going to create. I'm going to push to Git. Let's see. Branch name failed. Okay, I'll say git status, git initialize, git add all, git commit main, create app, and now we're going to push. So let's try once again. Okay, and I have pushed to git. Now let's see, I'll try to start the application Rails S. Going to preview. Now, as you see, I'm running on Cloud 9, so I'm getting this blocked host error. Not to have it in the future, I'll go to config, environments, development.rb, and say config.hosts equals nil. Okay, now I will restart the server, Rails S. And now I need to create a database, so yeah. I press create a database, looks good, git status. Okay, so I'll actually commit these changes. I'll say git add all, git commit main, run app on Cloud 9. Okay, git push. Looks fine. And now I think we can start creating a few static pages. So I'll start by adding a controller named static pages, Rails generate controller, static pages. Then I will have a landing page. I'll have pricing. Now I'm going to have terms, privacy, and terms. So 4 static pages. The controller is static pages, landing page, pricing, privacy, and terms. Okay, let's create this controller. And let's run the server, Rails S. Now we would like to have a root page, so I would go to roots, and here I would say root static pages, not / landing page, but this sign landing page. So this would lead us to the static pages controller and landing page action. I refresh, and now you see we are on static pages landing page controller action, but it is the root of our application. Okay, looks fine, and let's try to navigate to a few other pages. I would say /pricing, but it doesn't work because we would have to go to /static pages /pricing. Now I don't like that. I would like to just go to /pricing, not /static pages pricing. So I would go back and say get pricing to static pages pricing. Let's see if it works. Now you see static pages pricing doesn't work anymore, but we have just /pricing. So this route looks better and it works well now. I'll do the same for the other 2 routes. So static pages privacy and terms. Okay, deleting all the debris. And now I will add some navigational links. So let's first save our changes, git status, git add all, git commit main, static pages controller. Okay, and now I will add some basic navigation. So I would go to our app, views, layouts, application HTML, and here I would add a few links like equals link to home, for example, then root path, then equals link to pricing path, then the same for terms and for privacy. So terms and privacy. Why do I add these terms and privacy? Because usually whenever I add an OmniAuth provider, for example, I will need to have to submit the links to terms and privacy, like to Google OmniAuth or to Facebook or whatever. Okay, so let's see if we have these links. Here they are, so home, pricing, terms, and privacy. Seems to be working fine. Now let's actually move them to a separate partial. So I'm going to create a folder shared, and inside I'll have a partial like navbar. I will say render shared / navigation. Okay, now I'm going to create a new folder named shared, and inside a partial named navigation or header or whatever, navigation.html.erb. And now I will move all these links into navigation. And that's a better place to keep them. Okay, now actually, what if we have both a header and a footer? So I will have, let's say, the home page and future links to like inboxes or to the user information in the header, and like pricing, terms, and privacy will be in the footer. Let's also add that at this point. So I will go to shared footer. I'll create this layout. Now go to new file _footer.html.erb. Okay, and here I'm going to move these links. So link to pricing, terms, and privacy, like this. And actually here you see we have a link to home, but what if we just put the name of our application here? And here you see also in the title of the application in the browser we have this ask demos. Where do we get it from? We get the other ask demos from the title that was generated when we created the application. And Here we would also like to have the name of the application, for example. Now we can actually get it from config application.rb, for example. So here we have a name of our application. Let's try to get it in a view. I would say equals rails.application.class.module parent.name. Let's see if I get it. Here it is, ask demos. And yeah, I can just get this name here. So link to, and we'll have the application name like this. So ask demos, and we can also use the programmatically available name inside our application HTML ERB here. So equals Rails application class module parent name. And it will not be just some hard-coded string. I think that's good. Okay, and another thing, let's make these links available unless current. So you see, there is no current way to see what page we are on in the navigation. So I will edit link to unless current. Like this, like this, like this, and also in our navigation, link to unless current. Let's see how it looks. So you see the current link is disabled, and it makes the navigation cognitively a bit easier. Now I will also add some breaks. So an HR here and an HR on top of these links. And you see we have the actual content of the application between the navigation and between the footer. So makes sense. We can actually also try to center the content in the footer and in the navbar. Let's try doing that. So I'll actually put this all into an h1 tag or h2, for example, like this. And I will also center it. Now you see here I'm using just HTML tags. I don't need any framework, any CSS framework for this. It's all basic stuff. Let's actually make it h1 so that it is even bigger. So here we have the name of the application, the content, it is centered, and I will also center the content inside the footer. So center HTML tag and put in the content inside. Like this. Okay, looks kind of fine. So we've added a footer and a navbar. Okay, let's go to git status. So git status, git add all, git commit main. So header and footer. Now let's actually name it as header or navigation. Okay, it doesn't matter. Git commit main, header and footer. Okay, git push. Looks fine. Now let's start adding some data. So I will start by adding inboxes. We don't need users yet. I'll just add inboxes and messages, and later we can add the relationships to users. So I will say Rails generate scaffold inbox, and inbox will have a name. That's all we'll need for the beginning. Okay, now Rails db migrate. So I've scaffolded inboxes, and usually I prefer to save this and then already start editing the inboxes. Git add all, git commit main, scaffold inboxes. Okay, and now we can start editing these inboxes. So let's start the server Rails s, and we can navigate to /inboxes. Okay, here we can create a new inbox. Let's actually add inboxes to our navigation. So I'll go to our navigation. I will add another link to unless current. Here I'll have inboxes. and it will be inboxes path like this, and I'll also have a separate link to unless current new inbox, and it will be new inbox path. So inboxes and new inbox path. Looks fine. Now I can try creating a new inbox. You see, there was no name validation yet. So actually, we maybe need to add some name validation at this point. And how can we do it? We are going to go to our models, inbox.rb, say validates name presence true. I will actually also validate name uniqueness. Okay, looks fine. Let's try to create a new inbox. I'm going to new inbox. Okay, to errors prohibited, name cannot be blank, and name has already been taken. So makes sense. And you see this blank name has been taken. Now, I think it would have been cool if we added the database level validation here. So you see we have string name. We would also want to add the null false. Now, as the application is not in production yet, we can just do it in a very simple way. I'm just going to run Rails DB rollback. Then I will go here. I will say string name null false. Okay, so null false and Rails DB migrate. Okay, Rails S. Now I think the inboxes were all removed because we made a rollback. So I'll try to create a new inbox. Name cannot be blank. So it kind of works. Now let's actually add some more validations. So usually you would want some length validations, like you wouldn't have an inbox to have a ridiculous long name or a name that has just one character. So let's go to active record validations. Let's go to length. And here, so length in, so between two numbers. Let's go to inboxes, validates name, length in min name and max name. Okay, and let's add these two constants. So we'll have min name and max name. I will say min name equals. So minimum we will have like 6 characters, for example, and max name would be, let's say, 100 characters, for example. Let's see if this works. I'll go back, try to create a new inbox. So name is too short. Now let's make a name that is too long. So now the name is too long. Okay, so this kind of validation seems to be working. So we've added length validation, and that's, I guess, all the validation we can add at this point. Now let's save our changes. So git add all, git commit main, inbox validations. Okay, and let's now add the gem faker to be able to add some fake data, so some fake inboxes to our application. Here we have inboxes, and let's just create some realistic looking names. So we'll add the gem faker. So I will say bundle add faker, bundle add faker. Now if I type bundle add faker, then it will automatically add it to the gem file. So I go to the gem file, I see gem faker has been added. I didn't have to manually go to gem file, save it and run bundle. Looks nice. And now as we've installed faker, we can run some faker commands. So I would say faker internet.email. And we get some kind of random email. And let's select some faker data that we would like. So faker quotes. Let's have a look at faker quote. And yeah, let's just add some random quotes. So I'm going to go to our seeds, and here we're going to add some seed inboxes. I would say 5.times do, and here I would say inbox.create name would be faker name, and I would say faker name equals faker quote famous last words. Okay, this should do it. Let's see if it works. And before running the seeds, I would say inbox.delete all, so that we delete all the existing records in the database that we have for inboxes. Okay, let's say exit railsdb seed rails s. Okay, and you see we've created a few inboxes. So looks okay. Let's save our changes. Git status, git add all, git commit main faker and seeds for inboxes. Okay, looks good. And another thing I usually like doing on the very beginning is installing RuboCop. So gem RuboCop Rails, and it'll help us ensure good code style and quality along as we go with the application. So I would say gem RuboCop Rails require false. I will add it in group development and test. Okay, next I would create an initializer kind of file that I put in the root folder of the application. So .rubocop.yml, and I would say require RuboCop Rails. Pretty straightforward. Okay, and now I can run bundle execute RuboCop. Let's say bundle exec RuboCop. And it gives us a lot of offenses. Now you see we've just started our application, but it already says that we've got a lot of offenses. And I would actually want to configure RuboCop a bit, so say that we are not using some things in the application, and we don't want some things to be checked by RuboCop, at least for now. So I don't want to check the style frozen string literals comment. I would say all cops, no, I would actually say style frozen string literal comment enabled false. Let's run RuboCop once again. Okay, slightly fewer errors, so I will exclude some files. Now, I don't want RuboCop to run on our test directory for now, so I will say all cops, then I would say exclude, then I would say, so I want to exclude test. Let's see if it works. I run once again. And you see we still have test included. So I would say exclude test / folders and files inside test / files inside folders inside test. So again, bundle execute RuboCop. Okay. Now I don't want to run on our DB folder because usually like everything is automatically generated there. So I would say exclude DB. Let's try DB and everything inside. Will it work or not? It seems to have worked. And I will also exclude config for now, because usually these are things that are auto-generated by Rails or by other gems. So for now, I'm not going to run RuboCop on config. So the same way I will say exclude config and everything inside. Then I will exclude bin. You see, it gives us this bin folder and also config.ru. So exclude config.ru file. So all this basic setup. Okay, bin didn't work because I have to add what is inside bin. Okay, and now we have all the errors, I guess, in the app directory and in the gem file. I don't want to do anything RuboCop in the gem file either for now. I will exclude it. Is there still anything? We have the rake file. I will also exclude the rake file. At least for now. Okay, and let's have a look. So we have everything inside the app folders left and not so many errors after all. So prefer single quoted strings, that sounds good. Then style documentation, I will disable this scope. So style documentation enabled false. Style string literals, that's a good cop. Trailing white space, also good. Okay, so the other cops seem to be good. I will now save our changes before doing any autocorrect. So git status, git add all, git commit main, install RuboCop. Okay, and now I can run once again bundle execute RuboCop, and I will autocorrect the correctable errors. So I will say big A for autocorrect all. I can actually first run with small a, the ones that are easy. And let's see if there are any errors that can be fixed with a big A. So like it's hard autofix. Okay, that was just one. So what did it do? Go in here. We have just one error left as I see. So Rails uniqueness validation without index. Uniqueness validation should have a unique index on the database call. So go in here. We would add a uniqueness index if we want to validate uniqueness also on the database level. And it's generally good to leverage the database to validate everything you can. So we'll also do this now. But first let's actually see the changes that RuboCop did. So here, basically the empty actions were set to be in line. Then here, just a few spaces, so cosmetic changes, then static pages controller, also just cosmetic changes, application mailer. Now this was an auto-generated file, and it just changed the quotes to be not double quotes but single quotes. Now somewhere on GitHub I saw that DHH was saying that it's kind of cool to use double quotes as the default, but I usually like the idea of using single quotes by the default and use double quotes only when single quotes can't do the job. Okay, any other files that were edited? So inbox.rb, just trailing white spaces, I guess, and JSON builder files had our how these things called updated. Anyway, sounds good. Git status, git add all, git commit main, RuboCop, autocorrect. Okay, bundle exec RuboCop once again, and we have one error. So uniqueness true on the database level. Now again, it's still the beginning of our application, so we can run railsdb rollback. And how can we add this uniqueness on database level? Actually, I made a few notes on this, on validating uniqueness on the database level. So we can just add index unique true. So here you have name null false, index unique true. Is the same as adding an index somehow like this. Okay, let's run railsdb migrate once again. And let's have a look at our schema. So we've got inboxes, name null false, and we've added an index name, index inboxes on name, unique true. So looks good. Let's see if we still have this RuboCop error. And no offenses detected. So looks good. And as a reward, we can add a badge like this to our README. So let's go to our README. And yeah, we'll need to work on it later, but basically we can say that the code style is RuboCop. And so I would say we've got this RuboCop installed, and I would just add a few notes like bundle exec RuboCop. Okay, and let's save the changes. So git add all, git commit main, validate inbox name uniqueness on database level. Okay, looks good. So we've got our inboxes, and let's also work on some general setup for our application. Let's add the Devise. And I heard that it was a bit tricky with adding Devise to a Rails 7 application, but I think it's not going to be a problem for us. So let's try and do it. Let's go to GitHub Devise. Okay, where do we have the installation? So we have, well, add gem Devise. Let's go to our gem file, and we're going to add the gem Devise. But let's see, bundle. Let's see what version of Devise will be installed. Going to gem file log. Devise 4.8.0. I think it might be the latest version there is. Yeah, 4.8.0. Okay, now let's say Rails generate Devise install. And we get an error. Okay, so maybe we want to use the Devise main. And actually I've been making some notes on making turbo work well with Devise. So first of all, we will try to use the Devise main branch like this. So gem Devise, GitHub hot combo Devise branch main. Let's say bundle once again. Bundle update. And again, Rails generate Devise install. Okay, it worked. Now we would go to our development.rb, add this line. So going to environments, development.rb, application mailer. Next, we have a root page. We are going to add these two lines to our application HTML here. Okay, and we don't need Devise views yet. What is next in installing Devise? We need to generate a Devise model that is going to be Devise user. Okay, Rails db migrate. And inside our application controller, we'll say that only authenticated users can see the application. Let's say before action, authenticate user. I think is the right way. Let's just confirm. Yes, I seem to have typed it in correctly. Looks good. Okay, now I would say Rails server. Go in here, and I need to log in to see the application content. Makes sense. So what do? I will try to sign up. So let's say hello@world.com. Don't use password. Sign up. And I get this undefined method user URL. Now let's see. I go here. So the user was created, but I'm not redirected correctly. And this is kind of a small turbo problem. So we would need to disable turbo in this specific form, in our form to in our registration form. So I would go back. Let's just see if I log in with this hello world, log in. So log in seems to be working. I seem to be logged in, and now I will try to log out. So I would need a few links. So Devise navigation links. I actually have them already ready here so that I don't have to type them, and you can also copy them from my blog. Feel free. So usually we would have a link to log out. Let's see if it works. So I'm logged in. I have my current user email, a link to edit. Then I have a usual link to log out, destroy user session path, method delete. Then otherwise, if I'm not logged in, I would have like log in and register. Okay, all the usual old Devise behavior. I press log out, and you see we have this routing error, no root matches get, user sign out. So instead I'm going to use a button tool. Now again, we used to use Rails Vue.js, and as far as I understand, this method delete kind of stuff came from Rails Vue.js, and with without it, with just using Turbo, we don't have this method delete or method post on links too. So I would have a button tool, log out, destroy user session path, method delete, and let's see if it works. I will go back, refresh. You see, I didn't manage to log out last time. I will go to log out, and it still didn't work. Or did it? You see, start and delete, cannot run the console, start and get. So I kind of pressed delete. If I refresh, you see it signed me out, but it didn't redirect me. Why didn't it redirect me? Because we are using turbo drive on this logout link. So I would have to disable turbo drive on this button tool. I would say data, then in braces. Well, now let me make it in a new line so that it is a bit more readable. So data turbo false. I think something like this might work. Now going back, pressing log out, and it worked. So log out worked. And now we've got logged out working. I will also go and make registrations work. So I would need to actually generate some Devise views. Get status, Rails generate Devise views. Let's see, how do we generate views? So Rails generate Devise views and only registrations like this. Rails generate Devise views registrations. Now if we go to our views, Devise, I have two folders created, registration and shared. Let's see what we have in shared. So we are not going to need that now. Going to registrations, we have edit and new. So let's go to new, and here I would try adding data turbo false, and let's see if that works. So data turbo false. Now I'm going back Rails S. So I'm signing up, password. Now I will actually reload this page to definitely have data turbo false. Let's have a look at the form. Here we have the form data turbo false. You see, we have it. So email, password, sign up, and sign up worked. Log out also works. So it looks like we've made the device play with the turbo, and all the magic was in adding data turbo false on our registration form, and here in the logout button we turned it from link to button 2 and set data turbo false. Okay, looks good. Let's say git status, git add all, git commit main, install Devise, make it work with turbo. And also I've got a post here that describes all the things of making Devise work with the turbo properly. Okay, so going next, what do we want to do? Let's update our Flash messages. Let's make these login and register things also display nicely inside our navbar. Okay, I cannot log in because I'm not in the server. Now I press log in. Okay, so I'm going to move these links to our navigation and do something similar with our Flash messages. So go into application HTML. Here we have all these conditional device logics. I will move them out of here and into our navigation. So I'll put it somewhere here. Let's see. So login and register, and actually inboxes and new inbox should possibly be also visible only if a user is logged in. And these pages should be visible no matter a user is logged in or not. The same with the landing page. So only if a user wants to see inboxes or create a new inbox, he would have to log in. Okay, so we'll come back to this in a moment. Let's just also go to application html.erb and move these notices into something separate. So I would say render shared/flash, and I would create a file named flash.html.erb and put these notice and alert into this Flash panel. Okay, so keeping our application HTML ERB clean, we've got a partial for Flash, for navigation, for footer, looks fine. Going back here, so we would like some pages to work without requiring a login. So now you see we've added before action authenticate user around our application controller, but for static pages controller we will say skip before action authenticate user. Let's see if it works. I'll go to these pages and you see we don't have to be logged in to see these pages anymore. Looks quite good. Now if I go to inboxes, I do have to log in. Looks okay. Now, yeah, so actually this would be like prompts for the user to want to create an account when he sees inboxes and new inbox, but he cannot access them. And this is also quite weird behavior. This Flash keeps disappearing. I wonder why it keeps disappearing. So let me try moving this Flash back to our application. And it keeps disappearing. I also think it has something to do with Turbo. Let me see. Yeah, so what if we actually try customizing this flash instead of just notice and alert? What if we have flash dot each do key value and then we will display the key, so it will be either a notice or an alert, and the value, so it's going to be the text. Let's see if this works. I go to inboxes. Okay, I made a typo here. So, okay, now it seems to be displayed properly. I'll try to remove those. Now going to inboxes. We see that it is an alert and we see the message. Okay, so yeah, that was a strange bug. But now we've got this flash and it's working well. So I'll just restart the server and see if the flash works correctly. So I'm on the root page, I'm going to inboxes. Okay, I had to reload the page. No, actually it's not working really well. Let's see why. I'll go to inspect. Network maybe. I'll clean it up. Inboxes. Okay, so I have the impression that Devise is using flash.now, but not just the flash. So on redirect, the flash disappears. That's interesting, but I'm not sure what the best solution to fix it would be. We can just try. We can try disabling turbo for these links. Let's just see if it works. Now, I think it's generally not a great idea to add data turbo false to all possible links in the application, but we can just try doing it and see how it works. So I will add data turbo false to these links, and now new inbox works. And here it also works. And if we go to network, let's see. So I press new inbox, and we have a full page reload. And previously, if I go to new inbox, okay, now we also seem to have gotten a full page reload. Yeah, this is quite weird behavior from Turbo. I think we can have a look at it later on. It's not super urgent. So get status. Anyway, what we've done just now, we've moved our Devise view logic to our navbar. Let's just try to log in. So logging in. Yeah, here we have inboxes, new inbox, our account details, log out. Looks fine. Now I'll try to create a new inbox. And here we have our flash rendered correctly. So here we have our flash. We see we have a key, we have a value. Okay, let's save our changes. Git status, git add all, git commit main, move Devise views, Devise navigation to navbar and flash partial. Okay, looks fine. And now we can slightly try styling our notices and our alerts in the application. And yeah, we can actually add some basic CSS. So let's see. I will try creating a new inbox. Here we have this notice, inbox successfully created, and here we also have this notice. So why do we have the notice in two places? If we go to inboxes show, here we have this ID notice. I will remove it because we are going to have it globally in our Flash partial, and we have the same, I guess, inside our inboxes index. I will also remove it here, not to have this duplication. Okay, now let me just update something. So it works. And now I can try styling this Flash message. Now I think we can apply a style based on the message type, so whether it is a notice or an alert. So I would just go to our views, then shared, Flash, and here I would say it would have a content tag that would be a div, then it would have the value, so that is going to be the text of the message, and it's going to have an ID of the key. So the ID is going to be either notice or alert. Okay, and based on this ID, we are going to apply some styles. Okay, I forgot to close the braces. So let's edit the inbox, update. If I have a look at inspect element, you see it was given an ID of notice. So let's add some CSS styling to an ID of notice. I'll go to app, assets, application CSS. And I would add some styling. So I would say ID notice. We'll have, for example, a color of green. Let's see if it works. I refresh, I edit, and it's green. Okay, now let's actually make the background color green. Background color is going to be green, and the color is going to be white. Let's see. So looks actually a bit more interesting. Now let's add some borders. Let's say border. Yeah, we'll actually just make it have rounded borders. So border radius would be, let's say, 6 pixels. Now I go to edit once again. Here we have a nice border, and I will add some padding from all the sides. So padding would also be 6 pixels. Now add it in the inbox, and looks a bit more interesting. We will do the same with our alerts. So let's say I will destroy this inbox. It is also a notice, not an alert. I will log out. I will try to go to inboxes, and here we have this Flash message with an ID of alert. So I will do a similar styling for our alerts, and just the background color is going to be red. Now let's try once again. Okay, I will say alert. Inboxes. Okay, so looks quite fine. And now what if we want to actually move all our content in the application to the center? Let's add something like, so the HTML tag of body will have a margin of 0 auto, then let's see, so 0 margin from the side, then I will say max width will be, let's say, 500 pixels, for example. Okay, it's already centered, and we can also add display block. Okay, so looks kind of fine. We've centered all our content in the application. And you see we have all these links that we've previously clicked kind of underlined. Now if we have a look, let's see if we have any text decoration here. So ref inboxes, So text decoration is underline. So the tag is text decoration. And we can try setting it to none. So what kind of link is this? It is any link. Let's try adding any link. Would that work? Any link, text decoration, none. Let's see. Okay, let's try making just a link, text decoration none. This worked. And let's just make the same for a without link. Will change anything? I guess not, but anyway, looks fine. Okay, so all of them are not highlighted by default anymore. Okay, looks kind of fine to me. Let me just log in. It's starting to look somewhat as a more or less normal application. Of course, there's still so much to do. So yeah, we can also actually style our inboxes a bit. I would say railsdb seed. Let's style our inboxes a bit. Here we have a list of inboxes, and when we scaffold an inbox, let's have a look at our inboxes partial. We have this class of scaffold drag code around each of our inboxes. So we can not add any additional classes or IDs. We can just style this inside our style sheet. I would maybe add a border. So a border would be, let's say, 2 pixels, solid, black. On a scaffold drag code. Okay. Yeah, it's not an ID, it's a CSS class. Okay, we've added the border. Then we can add something like border radius 6 pixels as we did here. We would add the same padding. Okay. Then we would add some margin on the bottom. So margin bottom also 6 pixels. Okay, now let's actually try making the name ridiculously long or something. Let's say I will make the maximum of 1000. I will try to break the view. You see, the view is broken. It's not what we want. So I'm going to also add a word break. So word break, break word, something like this. Okay, and just in case we're not going to have anything broken if we have a name that doesn't fit our screen. Okay, so border radius, padding, word wrap. Okay, looks quite good to me. So if we go to inboxes, they are already slightly styled. Now let's go to a color picker. Yeah, some kind of random color picker tool. Let's change it. So we can add it, make the color not black, but something slightly more interesting. For example, like this. And it's not pressing that much on my eyes. Okay, looks better. And now let's actually go to any inbox, try editing it, try breaking something. And we have this, an error prohibited this inbox from being saved. So where do we get this from? If I go to our inboxes form, here we have this thing, if inbox errors any. So here we have this kind of error messages. And we have this ID error explanation. So let's style this. I'll go to this error explanation in the CSS. So we have this ID error explanation, and we will also add some styling like color red for the text. Let's see. So the text is red. Then we'll also add a border radius, padding, word wrap, and margin bottom. Yeah, we're going to add all of them. And just the only difference is the color red here and color red here. Let's see, update, again, update. Okay, so it is also kind of slightly styled. Looks okay. Let's save our changes. Git status, git add all, git commit. Now, what did we do in Flash? Show index. What did we actually do here? Okay, git status, git add all, git commit main, basic CSS styling. Okay, git push. Yeah, let's actually have a quick look at what we just did. So the CSS styles, then yeah, we've removed this notice that we don't need anymore, and we've added the content tag in Flash. Makes sense. Okay, and yeah, I think at this point we can so we can create users can create inboxes. And yeah, let's actually make it so that an inbox belongs to the user that created the inbox. So I would say Rails generate migration, add user ID to inboxes, add user ID to inboxes, user references. I wonder if it will work. So let's go to TP. Migrate, and you see it's so clever. It worked as add reference, inboxes user, null false, foreign key true. Okay, makes sense. And I think it will actually break our application if I say Rails to be migrate. Why will it break our application? Because we already have some inboxes where user ID is nil, and we are trying to add user ID that cannot be nil. So we would have to update our existing inboxes with some kind of user ID. But again, we are still on the very early stage and we don't have anything in production, so it is absolutely safe to drop the database. I would say Rails db reset. So I dropped it, and now I can say Rails db migrate. Will it work? I think it did. Let's start the Rails console, say inbox count. Okay, 0 inboxes. And now again, Rails db reset. Now I think it will be, no, it won't be able to create the inboxes because in the seeds, because we don't have any users yet. But that is fine. Oh, actually, I've just opened the chat and I see some messages. So can I already upgrade to Rails 7 from Carlos Enrique? Hello, Carlos. So I think if you're working on some kind of like real production Rails application, it is still safer to work on Rails 6. Because many gems are not ready for Rails 7 yet. And again, like here using Devise, I'm having some unexpected behaviors with Flash messages, with logging in and logging out. So I would not work on a production application on Rails 7 yet, but hopefully really soon. Then no problemo. Stimulus ready? Oh, Stimulus already? Well, I am going to add some stimulus in the application, hopefully. And hello, Andrew Mason. No problemo. What do you think about ROM RB and dry RB? Sorry, I don't think anything about them yet. I haven't used them. And hello, Tom G. Okay, so going back. Yeah, sorry for taking so long to answer the messages. Rails DB migrate, where was I? Let's have a look at our schema. Inboxes, user ID, users. Okay, now let's start the server. Actually, possibly going here, I'll be able to see the chat. Yeah, I'll have to figure out how it works correctly so that it is, yeah, easier to answer and to see all the messages in live mode. Okay, so yeah, again, where was I? I've added the user ID to inboxes, and now I want to automatically assign the user that is currently logged in to an inbox when an inbox is created. So I will log in. I cannot log in because of what? Let's see. Reload. Let's go to log in. Email password. Is it not working for me? Now this is a bit strange. Get status. So Rails server. Let's go to, I don't know, login page. Log in. It looks like it didn't work for me. I will try to go to another page. Now see, Devise is still a bit laggy here. I will go and fix this problem. Let's again look at my notes. So yeah, I can actually try. No, let's actually undo the previous migration and see if it works without it. So git clean ft, git reset hard, rails db reset. Okay, Rails server. Yeah, I will actually have to create an account once again. Works. Yeah, I think the previous problem was that I made Rails DB reset and I didn't create an account, and the Devise wasn't telling me that the account doesn't exist. So again, I will try something now. I will try to log in with an account that doesn't exist. You see, I'm pressing login and I'm not getting the error notification. Exactly. So let's have a look at our inspect page. Inspect element, going to network. Now I press login. I get this invalid email or password, but it is not being displayed. Let's see if adding data turbo false to our sessions will fix the problem. Is there a way I can answer messages on my own? Looks like not. Okay, so going to our views, Devise. In registration, we added this data turbo false. So here I will also add the data turbo false in sessions. And once again, Rails S. Okay, log in. I will reload the page. Okay, let's go to login. I'll try to log in with an account that doesn't exist. And yeah, you see now I get this message, invalid email or password. So actually we do need to disable turbo on the new session path. That one is also important. Okay, let's actually commit this change. Git status, git add all, git commit main, flash messages did not appear on device sessions new. Okay, so this one is fixed. And now going back to the previous problem, we were making this inbox belongs to user. So Rails generate migration, add user ID inbox to inboxes, user references. Okay, now we can tackle this problem. So going to our db migrate, add user ID to inboxes. Okay, now I will say Rails db drop, db create, db migrate. Just a moment. Okay, so we've done the migration. Rails. Oh my god. I'll try to answer in the chat now. Okay, yeah, so we've added the user ID to our inboxes. Let's have a look. Inboxes, name, user ID looks good. And now let's assign a user ID to an inbox when an inbox is being created. So first I will have to log in. Hello at world.com. Log in. Okay, sign up. I'm going to new inbox. I'll go and add a name. And I get this PG not null violation. Null value in column user ID. So yeah, I will go and add the associations. I will say belongs to user, and in user I will say has many inboxes. Has many inboxes. Now I will try to do it once again. I create inbox and I get this error, user must exist. Now there are many ways to assign the user. Actually, I've made a post on this. 5 ways to associate current user with a record on create. And I think a good one would be to merge it in the private params, for example. Or we can do it in the create action. I think the create action is quite good in this case, because we are creating it like a relationship. Inboxes controller. Okay, let's go and reload. And here we'll have inbox equals current user, inbox is new, inbox params. Like this. Now let's see if it works. Going back, I'm going to create a new inbox. So creating the inbox, and it was created. Now let's ensure that the current user was assigned. Let's go to our views. So to our inbox partial and see the user. I will say equals inbox.user.email. And here we see the email of the user that created this inbox. So far so good. Let's say git status, git add all, git commit main, associate inboxes and users, git push. And it's been quite a while. Let's run RuboCop bundle exec RuboCop. And we have just a couple of errors. So let's correct the ones that are automatically correctable. And we have one that we cannot correct automatically. So Rails has many or has one dependent. Well, we have to specify a dependent option. Basically, what happens to inboxes if a user is deleted? Should the user ID be nullified, or should the inboxes be destroyed? Well, for now I would do dependent destroy. So if a user is destroyed, his inboxes are also destroyed. Let's run bundle execute RuboCop now. And no offenses detected. So git status, git add all, git commit main, user inboxes, dependent destroy. Okay, looks fine. And yeah, I think we can already start adding messages. So we've got users, we've got inboxes, and we'll add messages. A message belongs to a user, to an inbox, and has a body. Okay, so let's say get status. Now I will also clean up all the windows that I'm not using right at this moment. And let's say Rails generate scaffold. Would it actually be a scaffold? Let's yeah, generate a scaffold. It's always easier to delete code that we don't need than to write new code. So generate scaffold message, body text, then inbox references and user references. We would add user references if we would want a user to actually be logged in to create a message. Now, I think yeah, we will want a user to be logged in to add a message. But in the future, we can of course always change this behavior. So we have body, inbox ID, and user ID. Let's see body, user ID, and inbox ID. Okay. Let's have a glance at our migration. So we have body, and then we will also want to validate the uniqueness of a message to a specific inbox, possibly not, but we definitely want to validate null false. Okay, let's run Rails db migrate. And yeah, git status, so git add all, git commit main, scaffold messages. Okay, looks good. Run button. So we've scaffolded messages, and now we can try to navigate to /messages. Now I will start the server, Rails S. Okay, so for some reason we have this empty line here. Why do we have it? Because inside our views, let's go to our views messages. Here we have index, we have this ID notice that is always present. So I'm going to remove that. And going to our show, I think we'll also have something. Let's try adding something. So a body, an inbox ID, a user ID. Okay, we have no inbox. What ID does this inbox have? It has the ID 2. I'll go again to messages, inbox ID 2, user ID 1, create message. I managed to create a message. Okay, and here we also have this ID notice present. I'm removing it. Then I'll make it so that we cannot change the inbox and user ID. So going to the form. First of all, in the form, I will remove the fields. Then going to the controller, messages controller, I will remove inbox ID and user ID so that they cannot be edited. Okay, so we can only edit a body, but here's the problem: we cannot now we cannot create a message. So we'll have to make it so that a user and an inbox are automatically assigned when we create a message. But we'll come back to this a tiny bit later. Let's just add some basic validations to our messages. So we have belongs to inbox, belongs to user. Inside our user RB, I will say has many messages, and potentially we would have something like has many messages through inboxes, something like this. And we could have a different class name. So we would have messages that belong to our inboxes and messages that we've added to other people's inboxes. Okay, yeah, we can add this a bit later. And inside of our inboxes belongs to user has many messages and also dependent destroy. And in our message.rb we'll add some validations. So let's copy the validations we have inside our inbox and go to message.rb. Here we have, let's say, min body, max body. So minimum body also 5, maximum body let be 2000. We have it saved in the database as text, right? Let's see. Text, okay, that's good. So let it be 2000 symbols, validates body, presence true, uniqueness, we might want to validate uniqueness with a scope to an inbox, but definitely across different inboxes we'll be able to have messages with the same body. So we'll definitely validate the length. And how do we validate uniqueness? Rails, validate uniqueness scope. Okay, somewhere I have a few notes about doing it in a nice way. Let's see. So yeah, scope, inbox ID, for example. Uniqueness true, scope, inbox ID. We can edit if we want to edit. Uniqueness is a duplicate. Yeah, we'll remove it from here. And for now, we'll not add this validation, but in the future, we want to consider this option. So if we don't add this option, one inbox can have two messages with the same body. Okay, so we've added some basic validation. Let's see if it works. I'll go and edit this message. I will change the quantity of symbols. You see I get the error. I make it valid. So hello world and yeah, let's make it actually on a few different lines. Update message. You see I've updated it, but it is still all in line. Why is it so? Because we didn't add any view rendering options for this body. Now, the easy thing to do would be to go to our message partial and say simple format. simple format message body. Let's see. And now it is spanning multiple lines. So looks a bit better. And here you see we have inbox, just the ID, and user ID. Let's also change that. Let's say, what if we have just inbox and user? What will it give us? It will give us the objects. And what if we say, well, user.email and inbox.name? Okay, so looks a bit better. We can actually make these as links. Now we have no link, no option to see the user show yet. So I'll just make a link to message inbox name, comma, message inbox. And now we can navigate to the inbox. So looks fine. Here we have, we are on the inbox page. Oh no, we are on the message page. Here we go to the list of all messages. Okay, so we've added some very basic styling for messages. Let's say git status, git add all, git commit main, basic message associations and validations. Okay. Actually, if you have any questions at this point of time, feel free to ask them in the comments, and I'm happy to answer them and have a couple of minutes rest from coding. So feel free to ask any questions. Git push. Okay, next, what are we going to do? We're going to make it so that the messages are going to be able to be created inside inboxes, and we'll go, okay, what exactly are we going to do? We're going to go to an inbox, and we are going to make it so that if we open an inbox, we're going to have a form to add a message, and we're going to render all the messages from this inbox. And we're going to actually use nested roots, so we'll have inbox/to/messages/new, for example. Now let's do that. So I'm going to go to our roots. I will say resources inboxes do resources messages like this. Refresh, and yeah, so we are on the right path, but we get this undefined method messages path. So we are going to actually make this fully nested roots. I'm going to move our messages controller into a new folder, inboxes. I'm moving our messages controller into our inboxes folder. I will say class inboxes, messages controller. Let's see. Initialize constant messages controller. So here in the roots, I will say module inboxes. Let's see. Okay, the controller works, and we are missing a template. So we are going to totally move the folder of messages into the folder inboxes. You see, inside inboxes, we now have this folder of messages. Okay, and we have this undefined method messages path. Now, actually, it's gonna be updated now. We'll go here and we'll say modal add inbox, or let's say inbox.find params inbox ID and message. Now here you see, with this URL, we should be able to find the inbox by the ID too. Let's see if it works. A syntax error. Okay, I need to close it here. Still a syntax error. Find params. Let's make it like this. Okay, no more syntax error. We have this link to back to messages that isn't working. So the form seems to be rendered, but it is rendered inside a new page, and new page has this back to messages. So back to inbox and add inbox. And yeah, we have this form rendered, and we can go to the inbox. The link doesn't seem to be rendering. Yeah, actually we will need to go to our messages controller and set inbox all across the views. I will say before action set inbox and go to our private methods, say def set inbox, and how we're going to do it, how we did it in our form. So going to our views, messages form, inbox find params inbox ID. So add inbox equals inbox find params inbox ID. You see, not just ID, but inbox ID. Here we have inboxes, and this is inbox ID. And if we just had ID, we would have we would get new in this case. So or we would get the ID of a message. So here we're using find the inbox ID. Okay, and yeah, actually let's go here. So we are on the view to create a new message for an inbox. I will press back to inbox, it works. Now what will happen if I press create message? For errors, user must exist, inbox must exist, body. So going to our messages controller. Now, do we need a message show? Possibly not. Do we need an index? Not at this moment. We do need a new action. We're not going to edit messages at this point. We are going to create messages. We are not going to use the format JSON for now for our messages, but we're definitely going to keep this respond to do format. Okay, yeah, so just doing some cleanup on the controller. We're not going to use the update action. We'll only be able to create messages, not to edit them at this point. And yeah, we set the inbox, set the message for only for the destroy action at this point of time. So we can actually remove the before action and just say set message inside destroy. Okay, now let's try to create an inbox, a message. So I would say message equals add inbox dot messages dot new message params, and here I would say message equals inbox dot messages dot new. Let's see, and going to the form, messages form, I would say add inbox, because I've already set the inbox. So create message. Okay, the inbox ID is added. We just have this user must exist. So we will also add the user. And again, here I had this 5 ways to associate current user. So we've used this way for associating the inbox with a message. And we could say something like merge user equals current user. Let's try doing that. Going to our messages controller. Let's say merge user current user. I will press create message. This didn't work. I can actually do it here in permit body merge. So I refresh, create message. Okay, so user ID and then inbox ID are assigned to the message, and it's just the body that's lacking. So let's add a body, create message. And now we get this undefined method message URL. Again, it's all this scaffold problem that we had. So we'll redirect to the inbox. Let's redirect to the inbox to which the message belongs to, and say notice message was successfully created. That looks fine. Also, if we destroy a message, will redirect to the inbox. Let's refresh. So hello, how are you? Create message. What page are we on? Inbox is 2. Yeah, let's actually display all the messages of this inbox. So I'm going to, yeah, let's delete the views that we are not using now. Delete the JSON one. Then we are not using the edit, the index, and the show. So for messages, we're using only the form, the message partial, and the new. And actually, I will remove this link to show message. Now, before removing it, I will remove it in the roots. So I would say only $ includes, and which actions. So we have the action new, create, and destroy. Now, if I refresh and go to inbox 2 messages, what is the idea of the message? Oh, actually, we don't have a show. So yeah, anyway, going to the message, this show will not exist. We've removed it from our roots. Let's go to messages, new, this exists. So create message, we get the error. Back to inbox should work. Okay, we've created the message, and now we're going to render all the messages inside the inbox. So going to the inbox's show, I would say equals render inbox.messages at inbox.messages. Let's see if it works. Missing partial, messages message. So what can we do? We would maybe render a collection. Let's see. I'm just checking how I did it last time. Yeah, I would say render partial inboxes slash messages slash message and collection inbox messages. This should kind of work. And here we see all the messages that belong to this inbox. Now let's create a new inbox. So another inbox, great. And let's create a few messages. Yeah, let's actually add a link to this. I would say equals link to new message, new inbox message path at inbox. Let's see if this works. So the new message path works. Let's actually try writing it in a slightly different way. I will say action new at inbox and message. Let's see if something like this would work. I just found there. Okay, undefined local variable or method message. Let's say new inbox message. Maybe something like this would work. Yeah, the URL seems to be working. So inspect element. You see the URL is the same. Two ways of writing the same path. And yeah, this URL looks a bit more unusual, but more programmatic. So use whichever you like more. Okay, I will leave this one. It looks more unusual. I will add a break and say h1 messages, and let's display the message count also. So I will say equals at inbox.messages.length. I would suppose that length works faster than size or than count. Well, at least faster than count. Okay, so yeah, we have 0 messages. I press, let's say, new message, hello world, create the message. I see it here. I have the link to create a new message. So far, so good. Now, actually, I don't have a link to destroy the message. Let's also add it to the partial. So here I have our message partial. And what would a link to destroy it look like? How do we have it inside our inboxes? Let's go to inbox partial. We have this. No, it is not in the partial. Why is the link to destroy not in the partial in the new Rails scaffolds? Here we have this button to destroy this inbox. I will move this button to, I will copy this button to our messages, button to destroy, message path, add message. Would this work? I think it won't, because we need to also set the inbox. So I would say inbox message path. And no, it still doesn't work. Let's go to our roots. Let's see, destroy. Destroy inbox message path. So yeah, it is inbox message path. And I would have add inbox and add message. Now it still doesn't work. Let's see. Yeah, possibly it will work as if we make it in a different order. Let's see. Or maybe we need braces inside. Yeah. So with braces, it seems to be working. Let's see. So a button 2 creates kind of a form object. Then button 2 inboxes, 3 messages, the message ID. What if we make it slightly different? Let's say inbox and message like this. I go to destroy, inspect. And what do we have? Action inboxes 3. Okay, let's see if it works. I will press destroy. It says inbox was successfully destroyed. Did we really destroy the inbox? That's strange. Now we are on inboxes. Yeah, now we are on inboxes. So I actually destroyed the inbox, not the message. This was not nice. Again, you see, I go to show inbox. If I press destroy, it will actually destroy the inbox, not the message. Why is it so? Yeah, because the action is inboxes 2, not inbox messages 2. So this was a bad way. Let's try again like this. Let's go to destroy inbox. Now we have this few strange signs. So what if we make it like this? Such a path does not seem to be valid. Action destroy, controller inbox messages, ID nil, inbox ID 2. Okay, let's see if this would work. I will try to destroy a message. Message was successfully destroyed, and we have 3 messages left. So this one seems to be working. Now again, I destroy a message. Let's refresh. Destroy a message. Does anything happen? Okay, couldn't find message with ID 2. Let's go back. Okay, it is because I have add message. So I should have just message. We don't have add message set. That makes sense. So I press, let's go again, inspect element. Let's try deleting, destroy this message. And it still doesn't seem to work correctly. Let's see why. I press destroy. Couldn't find message with ID 2. And what is the ID of this message? Let's see. Equals message.id. Okay, 1. And the ID of the inbox is 2. And here I'm trying to delete a message with ID 2. So maybe I should make it like this. Add inbox. Let's see. Okay, this looks nice. So we have action inboxes 2, messages 1. Or here we have inboxes 2, messages 3. Okay, let's try to delete this one. Just going back. I'll refresh once again. So delete this one. Worked. Delete this one worked. And delete this one worked. Okay, now deleting messages seems to be finally working. So yeah, we've done actually a lot of changes. Get status. We've nested our messages, controllers, and views inside our inboxes. So you see, our routes are already starting to look a bit more complicated. That makes me happy. And yeah, git status, git add all, git commit main. Nest messages inside inboxes. Okay, git push. And actually we've removed some files that we were not using, like the JBuilder ones. Yeah, so right now I don't see us using JBuilder in this particular application. Only if we want to get some kind of JSON, like we would go to inboxes and have a look at .json. So we would have a way to actually access like API of our application. Do we want it or not? That's a good question, but we can always add it later and keep our application clean for now. So yeah, I will clean up a bit now. I will remove files that we are not using. And again, usually before Rails 7 I was removing this respond to do format, but with Turbo we are going to use this respond to do format a lot. So let's see. Cleaning up our inboxes, static pages look fine, application looks fine, messages we've already cleaned most of it up. Okay, now other views, going here, inside inboxes we are not using inbox JSON, index JSON, and show JSON. So we delete these, yeah, and just it'll be a bit more comfortable and pleasant for us to work on our application while it is still so small. So git add all, git commit main, clean up unused code. Okay, now let's run bundle exec RuboCop. There might be some new RuboCop things as we've added our messages. So layout inconsistencies, style inconsistencies, and all are autocorrectable. I like this. Let's autocorrect them all. Git status, git, yeah, it was actually just all in one file. Interesting. So yeah, quite a lot of tiny changes. Let's have a look at our messages controller. Okay, I see. Pardon the question, but did Rails 7 get released, or are you trying out a Git branch? I am using Rails 7 Alpha. Yeah, I will actually also add a link to the GitHub of the application in the comments. So GitHub Vaishmerov, ask demos. Yeah, and I'm trying to troubleshoot it and make it work fine. But so far, Rails 7 Alpha is mainly working fine. Okay, so git add all, git commit main, RuboCop, git push. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, 21 commits, that's quite a lot. So we've added all the models and looks quite okay. Let's actually work on the styling of our inboxes a bit. Now you see we have this show inbox. I don't like this show inbox thing. I'll go to our inboxes partial and say link to inbox name inbox. Will not have this show link. Then we don't need this word name. So we have we'll just make it h3, for example, and here we'll have the link to inbox name. Okay, looks fine. Then yeah, we have the user that created it. We can also add the when the inbox was created. I will say by user on and equals inbox dot created at. Let's see, by this user on this date. Let's also update the date a bit. So strf time and say date slash month slash year, something like this. Let's see. So the date, the month, so that it is more readable. Okay, it doesn't make it more readable. Let's go to strf time. So we have month as M, but I would want something like B, so full month or something like that, so that people don't confuse a date and a month. Okay, I don't need this. Let's say D, so the 6th of November 2021. Okay, looks fine. Let's actually add this in italics. Very basic HTML styling. And yeah, for now I don't want to use any front-end framework. I want to see how far I can go without any. So I have an inbox. Let's open it. I have the edit. I have back to inboxes and destroy. Let's move these links into the inbox partial. So button to destroy inbox and link to edit are going to be inside the inbox partial. So edit inbox and destroy inbox. Like this. We open it and we only have this back to inboxes. And we get a problem: no root matches action edit controller inboxes ID nil. Okay, because it has to be not at inbox, it has to be just inbox. Okay, and from the show I will also remove this back to inboxes. So here we have just render the inbox partial, the messages, link to new message, and render messages partial. Okay, looks fine. So we have all our inboxes. Let's actually update this. So let's say h1 inboxes and say equals add inbox.count. Let's say inboxes.count. Okay, so total inboxes. We can open one of the inboxes. See. Okay, I've drunk too much, and I'll be back in a few minutes. And I'm back. Okay, so we were doing some very basic styling. So clean up the views. Here we have our index view for inboxes, just inbox count, rendering the inboxes, link to new. We don't need it here anymore. We have it in the layout. Then inbox new looks fine. Back to inboxes. Looks okay. We can just say cancel. Then let's see, the errors are rendering okay. If we cancel, we see the inboxes. Edit inbox, destroy inbox. Let's try pressing destroy inbox. If we get any errors, no we don't, so looks fine. Again, I'll create an inbox. I see the inbox, I see messages if any. I can remove this HR. Removing this HR. So messages 0. Let's try creating a new message. Worked. We are redirected back to our inboxes show page. We have this new message. Okay, looks kind of fine. Do we have anything else we can update? Looks kind of fine to me. Let's try editing an inbox. Show inbox back to inboxes. Again, on this edit, we don't want to have this back to inboxes. We'll just have a link to, let's say, cancel. And it will bring us back to the inbox page. Okay. Okay, so we've slightly updated our index views. So git add all, git commit main. Clean up inboxes views, inbox views. Okay, looks fine. And actually, there is some more repetitive code that we can clean up. So here we have the form for our inbox, and here we have a form for our message, and you see we have this messages, so we can move these error messages into a separate partial. Now let's name it errors. I will say equals render shared / errors, and something like this. I will move this into a new file inside shared _ errors.html.erb. Okay, we'll have object errors any, and here we're going to say what are we going to say? Let's see. I'm just going to see how I did it before. I slightly forgot the syntax. Okay, so here we'll say just form equals form here and here. So shared errors, form equals form, and in this errors partial we will say, let's see, we will say if instead of messages, we will say form object. So I will say I'll replace message with form.object. Not in all these cases. Here I will not replace. So I will say replace, and here prohibited this record from being saved. And let's see, will it work? I will say Rails server, refresh, update. Now we're going to edit an inbox. Let's try to have some errors. You see, the errors are being rendered, but they are being rendered in a partial rendered shared errors. Here it is, and we've slightly cleaned up our views. So one error prohibited the struct from being saved. Let's make it actually smaller, h4 for example. Okay, one error prohibited the struct from being saved. Name is too short. So yeah, it isn't screaming at us so strongly anymore, and looks better. And we've cleaned up our code a bit. So get status. So instead of using the same kind of code in two different forms, we moved it to a partial. So git add all, git commit main errors partial. Okay. And another thing I would like to do is add counter cache. What is this? Add a database column to see how many messages an inbox has, to see how many inboxes a user has, and to see how many messages a user has. So we would have something like messages count integer here, first of all. And I've also made notes on adding counter cache before. So count how many children a record has. And it's much faster than saying something like .count. So here inside our show view we have inbox messages length, and instead we'll have just messages count, like this. So I will say Rails generate migration, add the message count or messages count. Which one would it be? Messages count, count to inboxes, messages count integer. Okay, going to db migrate, I will say integer default will be 0 and null will be false. Actually, it doesn't really matter, but I would like to have them in a different order, just for beauty. Null false and already then like some kind of default value. Okay, so inboxes messages count integer, null false, default 0, Rails db migrate. Okay, let's have a look at the schema. So we've added messages count, default 0, looks fine. And now we will go to our model, to our message model. And we have belongs to user, no, to inbox, and counter cache true. Let's actually have a look at Rails counter cache. Is there anything official? Yes, there is. So yeah, these docs don't seem to be super nice. Yeah, so anyway, we're adding counter cache true to the belongs to association as I did here. And now I can say Rails db, again, let's reset. Rails s. I will go and create an account once again. So yeah, sign up. Okay, I will go to inboxes, create a new inbox, create a message, another message. You see we have messages 2, and it has been counted by messages length. And now we can also have messages count, and we'll show the inbox messages count that we have added to our database. So the inbox now has an attribute messages count, and this one is much more faster than getting the associated messages and their length. So let's see. You see both are working. I can try destroying a record. You see both are being updated, of course. I'm removing the other one, and now it's going to be much faster to count the associated messages. Okay, so yeah, in inboxes index, let's maybe also show how many messages there are. Let's go to inbox partial, and somewhere here, let's say messages, and say add inbox dot messages count. Add a break here. Okay, so messages 1 looks fine. Okay, now what do we want to do? Let's save our changes. Git status, git add all, git commit main, counter cache messages to inbox, git push. Okay, looks fine. What do we want to do next? Let's actually once again have a look at the messages controller and see if we can improve it a bit. So new looks fine. Here actually we have destroy message find, and instead we can say add inbox dot messages find. And this is going to be faster. We are not going to look at all the messages. We are going to look at messages that belong to this particular inbox. So a tiny trick to make things a bit better. Let's just see if it works. I'm going back, Rails S, opening an inbox. Let's create another message. Okay, now let's try to delete one of the messages. It works as before, but it must work a tiny bit faster than before. Okay, so git status, git add all, git commit main, better way to find the message by ID. Git push. Okay, Rails S. Yeah, now maybe let's actually push the application to Heroku. Let's say Heroku create. Okay, now we'll want to give the application a name. Let's say Heroku rename ask demos, but I already have an application named ask demos. So maybe I would like to delete that application. Let's see. That was a test application that I was playing around with. I will actually go to data. And then I'll go to this application, so ask demos. I will make a backup, destroy. Yeah, actually, I will destroy this application and create an application instead of it. So I will go and go to durability, create manual backup. Then I'll want to delete this application. Let's have a look. Do I have any interesting settings that I would like to save for later? So yeah, domain name, www, and the regular one. Looks fine. So yeah, I will download the database now. And I will delete the application. This application is quite safe to delete. Okay, delete app. And now I will go and say Heroku rename ask demos. And it worked. So previously I had this cryptic voters, and instead I have renamed it to a new application named ask demos. So this application is unrelated to the previous one. The previous one is deleted. Okay. And what do we want to do next? We will maybe want to push to Heroku, but would maybe first want to add a build pack. And let's see, build pack. Yeah, so I'm going to try to first add the Heroku build pack, Heroku Ruby. This might be helpful. Let's have a look now. So yeah, no changes yet. Anyway, let's try to push to Heroku. Git push Heroku main. Let's first say git status. Okay, now git push Heroku main. Okay, failed to install gems via bundler. Push rejected. Why is that? Maybe something with Devise. Let's say git push bundle update. Yeah, maybe we'll need to add both build packs. That's what I read somewhere. Okay, git push Heroku main. Now, actually, it's the first time I'm pushing an application with the Devise, a Rails 7 application with Devise, so we are getting this error. We have detected that some... Okay, this is interesting. Could not find Turbo Rails in any of the sources. Okay, I don't like this, but I think we can tackle this a bit later. Let's open Heroku and see what we have at the moment. Nothing special. Okay, for some reason we cannot build the application. Git remote v. Okay, anyway, we'll then not be pushing to Heroku right now. I will first try to troubleshoot the problems, and then we might push to Heroku once again. Anyway, there's still a lot of work to do. Let's say Rails S. I'll clean up the windows that we are not using at the moment. Okay, so we've got users, inboxes, and messages. So now let's make it so that users can vote on messages. And we're going to install acts as votable gem. Okay, so I'll get the gem acts as votable and add it to the gem file. Yeah, actually we haven't used many gems in this application yet, just RuboCop, Faker, Devise, and Access Votable. And yeah, we need to update our seeds, but we'll do it after we add Access Votable. Okay, so now we run bundle. Thank you for the coffee. Yeah, it's actually a chocolate drink. Okay, anyway, Rails generate access votable migration. Let's look at the migration. And yeah, we have created table of votes. Seems to look fine. But here you see we have this old syntax. We can actually use the new one, but it's not the most important thing at this moment. Let's see what's next. So yeah, Rails DB migrate. Okay, we need to specify the migration version. So I will say 7.0. Rails DB migrate. This might be the problem why we didn't manage to make it work on Heroku. So it didn't feel the Rails version that we were using. Rails version, yeah, seems to be fine here. Okay, the migration seems to have worked. Get status. Yeah, I wonder why acts as votable didn't determine our migration version. Let's have a quick look. I actually myself updated the gem. And how do we determine the Rails version? Let's maybe go and start the console. Rails version 7 alpha. Okay, this seems to be working. Okay, so we've added the migrations for access votable. And what do we have next? So we can vote on a message. We would open message.rb and we would say acts as votable. Okay, then it can be voted on by a user, for example. So let's start Rails console and try to vote on something. Let's say acts as votable vote.count. Okay, we have 0 votes at this moment. Let's try creating a vote. So we would say message dot first dot liked by user dot first. Okay, we created an access votable object, and you see there is one vote recorded in the database. And let's count the votes of the first message. So let's say message first dot votes for dot size. So it is 1. So programmatically it works. And now let's make it work in the views. So start the Rails server. And we'll make it so that we can vote on messages in the application. So how do we do it? We'll need to have a vote button. So going to our messages underscore message, we'll have a link to upvote or to downvote. Let's say equals. Actually, it's going to be not a link to, because the method is going to be post or patch. So I will say button to upvote. Then the path is going to be something like inbox message upvote. And method will be patch. Something like this. We refresh and no path exists. So let's go to our roots and create a path. I will go to our roots, and here we have resources messages, and I will have member do, then patch upvote. Okay, now let's have a look at our roots. Here we have upvote inbox path. It's not what I want. I want to upvote message. So I will have do here like this. So the block for member do is inside messages. And by member do, we say that it will work on a message ID, not on the collection of messages. Let's go back here, upvote inbox messages path. Here we have upvote inbox message path. So here this undefined method inbox message upvote path, but we have upvote inbox message path. So I will just need to change the order. It will be upvote inbox message. And we actually don't have to have at inbox, we can have message.inbox. But it really doesn't matter here at this moment. Okay, so this upvote button exists, and if I press it, what will happen? Nothing really seems to happen. Again, I will press the button, upvote, and nothing happens. What if I add the data turbo false, for example? So data turbo. Now, yeah, I will make it span a few lines so that it is a bit more readable. So data turbo false. Let's see, I press upvote, and the action upvote could not be found on inbox messages controller. So we'll need to add this action in the controller. I'm going to messages controller. I will create a new action named upvote. And what will we have inside? We'll have something like this. Message liked by current user. And let's try clicking that. So undefined method liked by for nil class, because we don't have a message set. So we'll need to set the message like this. Still undefined method liked by. Let's see, inbox messages upvote. Let's go back and try once again. So I press upvote, and what happens? It looks like we did upvote, but we just don't see any result. Let's add some kind of flash. So flash notice upvoted. Let's see if it works. I'll refresh, I'll press upvote, and still nothing. So does it actually work? Let's display the upvote count. I will say equals message dot votes for dot size. Okay, it is 1 now. I press upvote. Yeah, maybe I can't upvote because I've already upvoted. So I would say let's check if the current user liked this particular message or not. Let's say equals message dot liked by current user, and this should give us a true false. So liked by doesn't seem to be working yet. Like or user voted for. Okay, maybe it is because we need to add acts as voted to our user model. So going to our user model, acts as voter, going back, let's go back and say current user dot voted for message. Will it work? So yeah, voted for, that's why I cannot unvote, probably. So going to our messages controller, I will update it. I will say if current user voted for message, then I will dislike, otherwise I will like. Else, and so if current user voted for, I will make it disliked or downvote from. Let's see what nice names we can use for upvoting and downvoting. Liked by or downvote from. Let's say downvote from. So if voted for, we will downvote, otherwise we will upvote. Let's see, I press upvote. Yeah, I will say add message. And go back. So upvote. And it doesn't actually seem to be changing anything. Why not? Let's actually add a redirect. Redirect to inbox and see if it works. I press upvote. So yeah, the redirect works and we see that there are some changes happening on the page. And yeah, let's actually display other vote params. So let's say message dot votes not for but weighted total, for example, or get dislikes or get upvotes. Let's get separately upvotes and downvotes. So get upvotes and get downvotes. So it doesn't seem to be changing anything. Okay, anyway, I will create another message. Let's go to a new message. Okay, here we have two messages. I will try to upvote this one. And you see I managed to upvote. I press once again. I downvoted. Okay, so if, yeah, actually it's if current user voted for. I want to have it like if current user upvoted for. So how would I have it? If current user upvoted, then we'll have downvote, and if downvote, we'll have upvote. So let's have a look at the methods available. Access voter, voted up on and voted down on. That's what I want. So if current user voted up on the message, if current user voted down on the message, then we'll have different logic. So if current user voted up on the message, we'll have downvote, else if current user voted down on, we'll have the upvote. Okay, let's see if this works. Again, I have a message here. I'm clicking and the up and down vote is changing. So looks good. Now I'm as the single user, so when I'm doing something, I can't have more than one vote. Let's log out and create a new user. Now I didn't want to use this strong password. I'm going to inboxes, this one, upvote, and let's see. I vote, and does it increase the count? I'm not sure. Anyway, to make it work properly, I'm going to also add a migration. A migration will all these vote counters to our posts. So how do we do it? We've generated the access votable migration, and going down, we can add this add cached votes to posts. So I will run the migration, Rails generate migration, add cached votes to posts. Yeah, let's have a look at the migration. So add cached votes to posts. Here it actually found that we are using 7.0. That's good. I will copy just this changed thing. Okay, so cached votes and so on. Uncomment this line for forced caching of existing votes. Yeah, why not? And we have not posts, we have messages. So message find each update cached votes. Well, actually it is kind of irrelevant because we are using a test database. It makes sense to like just drop everything. I will go back, run railsdb migrate. Then I will happily say railsdb reset. Now start the server. Create an account. Okay, yeah, cannot find inbox ID 1. I'll create a new inbox. Create a message. Vote on it. And did it work or not? I will try to refresh. I'm not sure. I will say Rails console. Acts as votable vote count. Okay, so the vote was not registered. Maybe I have some kind of error in the controller. So I press upvote. It says voted, but something is still wrong. Let's have a look. So method patch messages controller if current user voted up on. Yeah, okay. So we have no option if the user didn't vote for a specific message. So we'll have like if the user downvoted or if the user didn't vote. So now it should work. I press upvote, it works. Okay, now I can create another message. Here I have another message, I upvote it, works. Now, for now I have a page refresh for each upvote, downvote, and for creating messages, but when we're going to finally add turbo, we're not going to have these upvotes require a full page refresh. Not now. Okay, so let's go. We've created another account. I will upvote. You see the vote count is 2. Looks nice. Okay, now I will just go to our messages partial, and here we have all these things that we get from the associations. I will just try to display actually all these. Yeah, let's try to display all of them. So I will go to our message, remove these, and say something like this. Equals message dot each of these. Let's see. I press upvote. And you see a lot of counters are kind of recalculated. So these are all the available vote counters. Looks fine for me. So we've added the basic behavior of acts as votable. What will be actually we remove data turbo false? Let's see. I'll press upvote and it's working well. So this data turbo false was needed just for debugging, while some methods were not working. Okay, so yeah, let's have a look at our changes. I'll say git status, git add all, git commit main, gem acts as votable, and vote for messages. Git push. Okay, I'm already quite happy with this small application that we've built. So we've already added votes. Yeah, I'm not going to add each of these fields. I'll just say that we've added voting functionality and all the voting attributes to our messages. So we've got users, inboxes, messages. Looks quite fine. Let's clean up the views that we are not using right now. Git status. Okay, let's see what else we want to add. So usually in most applications I work with, I would also add friendly ID. I would also add login with a social account, like login in with GitHub. So yeah, maybe what if we add friendly ID to our inboxes? Of course, it's not super urgent, but maybe we want the IDs to look nicely and we don't want our users to know how many inboxes we have in total inside the application. But before this, we'll make it so that only the owners of an inbox can edit an inbox. Yeah, so we need some user authorization. This is actually important. Now, are we going to add roles with Rolify? At this point, I guess not. For now, we're just going to make it so that only the owner of an inbox can edit an inbox or can destroy an inbox. So how can we edit? We can edit with or without using the gem Pundit. But while our application is still so small, possibly we can do it without using Pundit. Let's have a look at our inbox's controller. Yeah, you see, this Heroku thing isn't working yet for some reason. Maybe let's actually try to troubleshoot this one first. So Heroku Rails 7. Heroku login, gem install Rails, bundle add platform Linux, add platform Ruby. Do we really need this? I'm not sure. Let's try. So bundle add Linux and Ruby. Git status. Let's have a look at our bundler. Git diff. Okay, so PG, database YML must be fine. Generate controller, okay, we don't need this. Then Heroku gems, we don't need this. Stop the app in JIT, we don't need this. Git status, Heroku create. This must also be fine. Git push Heroku main. All dependencies. Yeah, something's telling me that Devise is breaking everything, but we have no real evidence yet. Okay, let's see. Git add all, git commit main. What did we actually do? What did we do? We added the Ruby platform. Okay, git push and git push Heroku main. Let's see if this works. Maybe we do need to have the platform Ruby. Okay, it didn't solve the puzzle yet, so again I will delay it till a bit later. In the meantime, I want to work on the user authorization for editing or for deleting an inbox. So maybe we should do it the right way with the gem Pundit. So gem Pundit. Let's add gem Pundit. I will say git status bundle add Pundit. Okay, next we will include Pundit inside our application controller. So going to controllers, application controller. Next, Rails generate Pundit install. Let's see what it gives us. So it created a policies folder, app, policies, application policy. Okay. And now we can possibly start adding some authorizations. So there must be something like Rails generate policy. There must be some kind of policy generator. Rails generate. Rails generate policy Pundit. Let's say Rails generate policy inbox. Okay, there is no Pundit policy generator. That's a bit surprising to me. But here there are some more things that we need to add to make Pundit work nicely. So yeah, we did run Rails generate Pundit install. It added a policies folder with application policy. Yeah, we'll create a new policy. I will say inbox policy .rb. Copy something, inbox policy. What do we need inside? So we have our application policy, attribute reader, user and record. What if I try adding something just as edit, and here I will have something as now not post, we'll maybe have record. We'll have record dot user equals user. So this way only the user that created this record, this inbox record, would be able to edit it. I would also add the authorize user or actually authorize inbox in this edit. Let's see if it works. Rails server. Now I press edit, and I get this invalid inbox policy constructor code. Okay, let's try once again. So let's say true instead. Will it work? Oh yeah, actually it has to inherit from the application policy. I'm quite sure of it. Okay, let's have a look at the documentation. Post policy, yeah, inherits from application policy. Maybe I made some typo somewhere, so from application policy, update. Yeah, makes the code makes sense, but for some reason it is not working. Not allowed to edit this inbox. Okay, yeah, so we get a Pundit not authorized error. Now the code is working correctly, we just actually are not permitted to open this page. Okay, so going next to the installation of Pundit, we would have some kind of rescue from Pundit not authorized. Raise Pundit not authorized error. Let's see. Going to the Pundit documentation. And inside application controller, I would add these lines of code. So include Pundit and rescue from this error. So rescue from Pundit not authorized error with user not authorized. We'll have this private method user not authorized. Flash alert, you're not authorized to perform this action, and redirect to the previous page or to the root path. Makes sense. I will refresh. Okay. I, with this email, cannot edit an inbox of a user that created it with another email. Makes sense. So this authorization seems to be working. Now, if I make it like true, for example, then any actual user that is logged in can edit. So I go to edit and it works. Now, what if I do the same for destroy? Is it actually destroy? Let's see. The action is called destroy. So in inbox policy, I will say def destroy, and I will have the same validation. So edit record user equals current user and destroy. Okay. Now if I try to destroy this record, did it work? Let's see. It seems to have worked. It did work because I did not add this authorize inbox line. Yeah, that's a good gotcha. So authorize inbox. Now I'm going to create an inbox. I will log in as another user. Yeah, I'll create an account. So going to inboxes, press destroy, and I'm not authorized. Okay. And actually I can move this authorized inbox to another before action. So def authorize. And I will move this authorized inbox there. And remove it from destroy and from edit. And say before action authorize inbox, and only for the actions that are edit and destroy, and update also. Yeah, that's important. So the edit is the view, but edit is the post action. Yeah, that's also an important one indeed. Okay, now let's create an inbox. I can edit my inbox. I can destroy my inbox, I think. Can I? Edit record user equals user. Now I'm not allowed for some reason. Let's see why. Let's see on what point I'm breaking. I will again add this authorize inbox separately to our edit and to update. Okay, so I'm not authorized to edit it. I'm trying to edit my own inbox, I think, yeah? I am not authorized to edit it. So I might have made a mistake. So we are blocked on inbox policy, edit. Record user equals user. Yeah, I would think that it should actually work. Let's see. So on edit, we authorize the inbox and we can access the page. Yeah, it is because I did not add the update here. So yeah, update, and I would say edit. So we can update if we can edit, and we can destroy if we can edit. Now it should work. Now it should work. So again, I will remove authorize inbox from here and from here, and make this one work. And say hello, and it works. Voila, we have added Pundit for our authorization in just a few minutes and made some investigations and troubleshooting. I am feeling happy about it. So we've authorized edit, update, and destroy of an inbox. Only the user that created the inbox can edit it. Okay, now let's save our changes. Git status, git add all, git commit main. Hello, maybe current user. No, Goku. So the problem here was that I just didn't define the authorization path that should happen for our update action. So here you see in inboxes controller, I said authorize inbox, and it's going to work in the same way as if I have authorized inbox comma destroy. So this is going to look for an inbox policy, destroy. Update, like authorize inbox on update, is going to look for inbox policy action named update. And I just forgot to set this update action. Yeah, so git commit main Pundit, and only creator can edit or destroy inbox. Git push. Okay, so we have added the Pundit, and now let's also maybe add the friendly ID. So we added one gem, let's add another. Now gem friendly ID. So let's say bundle add friendly ID. Okay, open the gem file. It has been added. Get status. Now let's say what do we want to do? We're going to add a migration. So the migration is not going to be for it's not going to be for add slug to users. We don't need it for users at this moment. We will do it for inboxes. So I will say Rails generate migration add slug to inboxes, slug unique. Delete the first one. Okay, so we are adding a unique slug column attribute or whatever to our inboxes table. Now Rails db migrate. Next we will say extend the friendly ID, use slugged. Go into our models, inbox.rb, the inbox.rb. We will say extend friendly ID. Friendly ID is going to be equal to the name, use slugged, and we will also use finders. We don't even have finders on the main page. That's not cool, but friendly ID does have this option finders that allows us not to add this .friendly inside our controllers where we set an inbox or something. So we're going to say use finders also. Use include slugged and finders. Okay. Is there anything else I want to add? So these are my notes on using friendly ID. And yeah, I think that's all we need at this point. So let's say Rails console. Then I will update the slugs for all existing inboxes. I will say inbox find each and save. Okay, now let's say inbox block slug, and you see the slugs have been updated for all our existing inboxes. So if I start the server and open any inbox, so here I have the ID 3, but if I go to inboxes and open an inbox, we will now see the slug. So you see it was super fast and easy to add the friendly ID. Now let's just create another inbox. So what videos would you like to see? And let's have a look at the slug. So looks quite nice. Of course, we would not always want the slug to be the same as the name. So later on we can make the slug actually editable. Yeah, we can do it later. For now, we'll just say git status, git add all, git commit main, friendly ID for inboxes, git push. Okay, looks quite fine. So what do we have? We have a basic application where users can log in, create inboxes, open inboxes, and add messages. Now let's make these links to edit or to destroy be visible only to the ones who can actually do it. So again, this is Pundit authorization. How are we going to do that? Now let's go to the list of our inboxes. You see, I see all the edit and destroy buttons, but if I go to some of them, I am not authorized. Okay, could I really delete this inbox? Did it work? Did it really work? Why did it work? So again, I'm pressing, maybe it worked for my inbox. For an inbox that I created. Let's see, I will register. Sign up. Okay, log in. Let's see inboxes. I will destroy this inbox, and I can destroy the inbox. Okay, so this is actually a problem, and we should have tackled it in tests. Yeah, that's why you usually write tests. Now, why can I destroy? Because I made a typo, an awful typo here. So destroy. Now again, I will try to destroy, and you are not authorized. Yes, troubleshooting. Awful typos. Awful. Git status, git add all, git commit main, fix typo in policy. Okay. Yeah, so let's now make the links to edit and destroy visible only to the ones who can actually do it. Go into inboxes, and I shouldn't be able to see links to edit or destroy this particular inbox. So how can I do it? I will go to inboxes, inbox, and here I will make these views conditional. So how can we do it? Inbox, or current user can delete inbox or not. How can we do it? I might have a few notes on this too. So if policy user can edit this inbox, for example. Let's see if something like this would work. Policy at inbox dot edit. So it would show if the current user can edit this particular inbox. It would give us a true or false now. Let's see. Go in here. Here we get false, and here we get true. Okay. So we would say display edit if policy inbox edit, and display destroy if policy inbox destroy. Is it destroy? Let's see. It is destroy. I'll copy it and paste it so that I don't make a typo again. I refresh. If, yeah, I missed an if. Okay, so now I see the edit and destroy links on the inbox that I can actually edit or destroy. Makes sense, looks good. I'll also clean up these links a bit. Okay, looks looks good. Let's open one of the inboxes. Yeah, I cannot. Now I will try to go to /edit. Doesn't work. I will go to /edit of an inbox that I can edit. Works. Okay. So let's save our changes. Git status, git add all, git commit main, links to action links visible based on policies. So I think it was a good choice that we decided to go straight away to install the gem Pundit and didn't use any gemless methods, because it will be good for long term. We make it look nice inside the controller. We have one place where we see all the policies and where we can easily edit it, and it will also update our links, our action links inside our views. Okay, let's have a look once again. So we've got our inboxes, and yeah, let's update our seeds. So we had our seeds. We wanted to create a few inboxes, and we will also want to create a few messages, but we'll first need to create a few users. So I will say to.times do user dot create, and we need a name and a password. So no, actually an email and a password. Now for a password we can use a Devise random. I think I have a few notes about Devise randoms here. So yeah, we can use Devise friendly token. Let's try running Devise friendly token in the console. Yeah, so these are all random passwords. For a password, we will use device friendly token, and for an email, we will use faker internet email. Okay, looks good. So here we'll have faker email will be faker internet email, and here we will have it like this. So looks quite fine. We will create 2 users, and for each user we will create a few inboxes, and for each inbox we will create a few messages. So message body equals something from faker, and we'll say message dot create. It will have a body that will be message body, then it will have an inbox that will be an inbox, so it will be this inbox, and it will have a user that will be our user, or actually it can be a random user. We will do this now. So first we are doing the inboxes. Inbox equals inbox create name, and user will be user. Okay, at this point creating an inbox for a user should work. Now we are going to create messages. Let's see what Faker can offer us from random messages. Let's see, maybe lorem. So maybe let's make a few sentences or a paragraph. Let's have a look at how a paragraph would look. Yeah, looks fine. So a message body is going to be a faker paragraph. Then we'll have it belong to an inbox, of course, and belong to a user. Now I'll make this all look a bit nicer so that the code is more readable. So we create 2 users, we create a few inboxes and a few messages. Now we can use something like sample. So yeah, it would say user ID would be, for example, 1.2.sample. And yeah, it's gonna something random. Should work with a space. Okay. So let's create a few more messages. Let's say 5 messages for each inbox. And let's also make these numbers more random. So we would say maybe random number between, let's see, Ruby random number between. Okay, let's say random between 1 and 5. So between 1 and 5 times 2. Here also random between 1 and 5 times 2. And we will delete everything before. We will say user dot delete all, inbox delete all, message delete all, but I think deleting all the users would be just enough, because inside our users we said has many inboxes dependent destroy, and yeah, we can also have this has many messages dependent destroy now. And inside inboxes we have has many messages depend destroy. So let's try to run our seeds. Rails db seed. Okay, update or delete on table uses violates foreign key on table inboxes. So why didn't it work? Maybe let's try destroy all. Rails db seed. Undefined local variable user. Okay, let's try doing the dumb way. First I'll have messages, then inboxes, then users. Rails db seed. Undefined method user for main object. Okay, yeah, I need to say user equals user, so that we have user here, and yeah, Rails db seed. Now it seems to have worked. Let's run Rails console and say user.count, inbox.count, message.count. Okay, no messages were created for some reason. So let's see why. We do create an inbox. Body should be message body. Inbox should be this inbox. And user ID, let's say, maybe this is the error. Let's say user.first. Again, I will say Rails db seed, Rails console, message.count. Okay, now it did work. So having this sample trick didn't work for us. Okay, we should work on this also. Exit. I will do it later. I will just make a note here. So should hello Brian. That's quite an unusual spelling of the name Brian. Well, at least I haven't seen it before. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you. So should be a random user. Maybe actually let's see. Seeds random user Rails seeds random something. Yeah, so other people did like use ID random something. Maybe I should have used the random but not sample in this case. Let's try once again. Random between 1 and 2. Let's try once again. I will say Rails db seed. Hello, virtual funland. First I read it as Finland. Yeah, thanks a lot. Okay, so let's try once again. I will say Rails console and say message.count. Okay, no messages have been created, so this doesn't seem to be working properly. Yeah, let's make it this way for now. And Rails db seed, and come back to this problem maybe a bit later. Let me see. I want to see if I've had any similar cases that I can use. Not really. Okay. Anyway, one last thing I will do in our seeds is I will say that, yeah, I will print out how many users and how many other stuff we've created. I will say print user.count, then say users created, and the same for inboxes and messages. So inboxes created and messages. RailsDB seed. Okay. What doesn't work this time? Let's see. Null value in column inbox ID. Okay, let's say RailsDB drop. Great. Migrate. And seed. Okay, null value in column inbox ID. Well, it's non-null constraint. Let's see. So we create a user. Let's just see. Rails console user.count inbox.count message.count. Yeah, so they seem to have been created, but we still got some kind of error. Let's try without printing them out. And we didn't get this aborted thing. Interesting. Anyway, I'm really feeling quite tired. It was a long time, but generally we have a quite good boilerplate application ready where we can log in. So we've fixed logging in Rails 7 application. Then let's see. We can create inboxes. Inside an inbox, we can create messages, and we have these as nested resources. And we can upvote or downvote a message. And in the next video, we are going to hopefully deploy to Heroku, and we are going to add reactive behaviors with Hotwire, so with Stimulus and with Turbo, and that's actually something that I really can't wait to do. So thanks a lot for being with me, and see you in the next video. Actually, it is the first live video I've been recording on this channel, so I think it went quite well. You tell me what you think. So goodbye.